I have no idea if if that's on the cards, and I would hate to presume. Obviously, I know now from my research, I know that Daredevil exists in Civil War and he exists in the New Avengers, and he's not a leading character. But even if he's just in the background, kind of like looking cool, then I'd be happy with that. But I have no idea. They could equally use someone else to do that if they even include Daredevil in those movies and adaptations. But it's my great hope to be invited to that. I'd love to see Peter Parker and Daredevil hang out. There's a wonderful issue of the comics where Matt Murdock has to defend Daredevil, and because of the public don't know, and so he has Peter Parker put on his Daredevil outfit so that he can sit in the docks. Great storyline.
Hey guys, it's DareDevil, back with another video. Today, we're going to talk about something that I wanted to talk about for a while, but didn't think I'd get much opportunity to with Spider-Man being out of the MCU. But DareDevil, what could you possibly be talking about? Well, let me tell you, that something is Daredevil, joining the MCU with Spider-Man 3. Now before we get started, I just want to mention that there's probably some of you out there that are screaming, but Daredevil got cancelled by Netflix and the rights belong to them. How right you are. But Spider-Man Homecoming 3 has a release date of 2021. By then, the rights will have reverted back to Marvel and they will have free reign to do whatever they want with the character. Not only that, Charlie Cox, the actor that played Daredevil in the Netflix series, has actively come out and stated he would love to play Daredevil again. He has even been questioned about joining Spidey in the MCU, and here's what he has to say about a possible crossover with the Webhead. I really like the Daredevil Spider-Man stuff in the comics, really fun. There's one issue in particular where Matt Murdock proves that he's not Daredevil because Daredevil shows up in the courtroom, and of course it's Peter Parker wearing the Daredevil suit, which is such a lame alibi. But it would be so cool to do, something like that, and I think Tom Holland is an amazing Spider-Man. Unquote. This would also be a good way to introduce the Kingpin into the MCU. You could almost turn Spider-Man 3 into a Daredevil launch story and spin him off into his own set of movies into the MCU with Charlie Cox, and also the actor behind Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio. While it's such a huge stretch, they probably won't go this route. I think it'd be really cool if they did something like this. A theory you could possibly run with is this. Now that the whole world knows Peter Parker's identity, right? Thanks to J. Jonah Jameson, Peter will be on the run. In my last video, I mentioned that Kraven might be hired by Norman Osborn to track Peter down. Inserting DD and Kingpin into the MCU could change this formula up quite a bit. What Marvel would have to do is basically retcon Netflix Season 4, that or create a time-lapse where Kingpin pulls some strings once again to bust out of prison. Then you have DD in another side plot trying to track him down. So as I mentioned before in my previous video, instead of Norman hiring Kraven, it's the Kingpin. He busts out of prison, sees who Spider-Man is, and tries to use it to his advantage. Since Kingpin is already established as a guy who can manipulate almost anybody, it would be no surprise that he would know someone like Kraven to help track down Spider-Man. But now the plot thickens. Maybe we see Kingpin hires Kraven, spawning the Spidey vs. Kraven fight in the movie. But maybe Norman is also introduced, but not during the film, but at the very end. Turns out maybe Norman made a deal with Kingpin or offered Kingpin a ton of money to track down Spider-Man and obtain his blood. Peter sees on the news that Kingpin himself has been released from prison and starts to track him down before he encounters Kraven. This is where Daredevil comes in. Peter and Daredevil stumble onto the same clues and eventually cross paths. Daredevil and Peter exchange identities and begin to team up when Peter is suddenly attacked by Kraven. Daredevil and Peter team up, and then after they fight Kraven off, Peter and Daredevil agree that they should focus on one target at a time, and then they split ways. Then you get the narrative gearing only towards Spidey and Kraven. This would be a really good way to spin DD into his own movie, with his battle continuing where they left off in Netflix Season 4. In the latter half of the film, Kraven manages to steal Peter's blood, before Peter inevitably takes Kraven down, and then Kingpin and Norman are seen exchanging hands at the end of the film, or maybe in a post-credit scene. Peter would most likely be oblivious to what Kraven is up to. Or, something like that. I'm not a movie writer or anything, but it would be cool to see something like that on the big screen. There was lots of talk of Matt being Peter's lawyer. While yes, Matt is a lawyer and it would be cool to see them do that with what Charlie Cox has stated previously, I do not think they're going to go that route. Heck, they would probably not go this route at all. They won't even include Daredevil or Kingpin into this movie, but given that storyline is very MCU heavy, maybe that's not such a bad thing for Sony. Maybe they'll probably leave those characters alone and focus on characters they have more creative control of and set up Sinister Six in Spider-Man 4. But if things stay right with Sony and Marvel, we could see something like this. A lot can change by 2021. Let's just hope the execs keep playing nice and we might just get to see DD and Spider-Man team up down the line. Well, that's all I had to say in this video. Let me know what you think and leave a comment down below. If there's a video you want me to talk about or, put something else up on my channel, please let me know. I am open to suggestions. So yes, let me know, and as always, if you like this video, feel free to web up that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.